tune is dedicated to all the victims and survivors of the Grenfell tragedy, and it's by a pianist called Horace Silver, written a long time ago in the 50s, and it's called Peace. Next tune is by Herbie Hancock. Anyone know Herbie Hancock? Yes? You know. Right, so this next tune is called Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe. Thank you. Sean Hargreaves. Neville Malcolm.
Winston Clifford on the
Thank
drums.
you. Has anyone here heard of a guy called Marvin Gaye? All right. Well, you'll all recognize this one. And you feel free to get up and dance or whatever you want to do. All right? Not too slow, not too fast.
But before I get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Keith Fraser. Fantastic round of applause there. Thank you very much. Yeah. Wait till you hear me. It'll get even worse, believe me. Anyway, my name is Keith Fraser. I'm your MC for tonight. Well, I'm supposed to be, even though I didn't introduce the first act. Okay, first slap on the wrist. But actually, I have a brand called Cojones. How many of you know what Cojones means? Balls, exactly. Balls. It's interesting. Actually, a few weeks ago, I gave a talk at a lunch for 120 women. It was a cancer research lunch about cojones, which is about having balls, having audacity, having courage. And when I asked these women, I said to them, I said, point to your cojones. And bizarrely enough, they pointed down there. And actually, it's utterly wrong. It is a mindset. And I like to teach people about having boldness, audacity, and chutzpah. Does anyone know that word, chutzpah? It's an old Yiddish word. It means outrageous audacity. In fact, I have a YouTube channel called Cojones TV, where I interview a number of celebrities, and one of them, Judge Rinder. Did any of you watch Judge Rinder? I don't. But anyway, I did interview him, and he said to me, he said, well, before I came on this interview, I wanted to know what chutzpah meant. And he said, I think what it is, the real meaning of it is when you kill your parents and then claim the family estate. Well, that's kind of what it is. It's not quite that bold, but yeah, that's what it is. I teach people to grow a pair. And in actual fact, a little bit later on, I'm going to be handing out a few souvenir T-shirts to people who want them. But of course, tune into Cojones TV. Now, why are we here tonight? We're obviously here for this very important memorial event. He just wants me to do impersonations. I haven't done impersonations for years. But I will give you a little story about our upcoming main man here, John, because this is the first time I've done an event for this man in how many years? 15, 17 years, when John put on a boxing promotion at Wembley Conference Centre. And he asked me to do, along with another guy here, a friend of mine, Ben Stone. Ben Stone, put your hand up. There you go. Some people call him Ben, some call him Bernie, some call him Barney. He's got a lot of names, more names in the phone book, that guy. Anyway, he put on a boxing promotion at Wembley Conference Centre. And I used to do boxing impersonations. And between bouts, I was doing some boxing impersonations. And one of the acts I did was Lloyd Honeyghan. Do any of you remember Lloyd Honeyghan? And I did an impersonation of Lloyd Honeyghan. I kind of remember how you do it. It went something like, he's got a big mouth, you know. But no, anyway, I did an impersonation of Lloyd Honeyghan. He was there, and he took real umbrage. And he came up to me and took the microphone. This is an absolutely true story. He took the microphone away from me. He complained to John. In turn, he complained to the British Boxing Board of Control. And John pulled me away from doing my well-rehearsed second set. So that's why I haven't done anything for John for about 15 or 17 years. Thank you very much, John. I hope you're not going to pull me off tonight. Do it now. Do what now? Can you tune up your guitar? Because they're waiting for you guys, all right? Okay, look, he's more interested in me than his own guitar, right? Very important that a guitarist tunes his guitar. Anyway, I know there's also, in aid of this fantastic event, there are a few celebrities in the audience. Now, one of them, for example, is Judith Jacob. Judith, put your hand up. Now, Judith Jacob was in EastEnders in the late 80s, I believe. And then she left. And I don't blame you, because it's a load of crap. But anyway. No, listen, don't get me wrong. It was great when she was in it. But I mean, the way I look at it, when I watch TV, I mean, there's only so many affairs you can have with your next door neighbour or fights with the other one. So I'd say, enough is enough. I can't watch EastEnders too much. But Judith Jacob, thank you very much for coming tonight. It's great to see you. Now, we've also, I don't know where he is. He might still be downstairs eating. We've also got, I believe, Alex Reid. Is he here, Alex? No, he's downstairs. Well, Alex Reid. Any of you know Alex Reid? Alex Reid was the winner, apparently, of Celebrity Big Brother, another quality TV program. I've never watched it either, right? He was the winner of Celebrity Big Brother, and also he was married to Britain's favourite slag, Katie Price, right? That's right, Katie Price. And the ironic thing is, and it is ironic, is that we now I always say to people, because when I get on my soapbox, I always believe in saying it as it is. One of the lines from Cojones is, say it as you think. And one of the things I think is that in this day and age where women like equality, and we've got this Me Too brigade, we have a program on TV called Loose Women. right? And Katie Price, of course, is on it. No surprise there, is there? Right? I mean, come on. I mean, if you want to stick up for women's lib and have Me Too, I always say, why don't you just have a program called Educated Ladies? Something like that. Would be a lot better, I think. Music. So are you ready already? Are you going to give a big, big round of applause to Mr. John Collins? Come on, John. He's going to give us an impersonation now of a blues guitarist.
Well, I'm going to try. Okay, thanks, Keith. And there's a lot of feedback here, so my tracks will start soon. So the order is as follows: I'm doing a set now, a Latin set mainly, and one blues song at the end. It's 5 songs only, and then there'll be an interval, and then London Electric Blues and myself will finish the evening off. So it's nice, short, and sharp. So before I do start, I just want to say one thing that's not so nice. The Rugby Portobello Trust were the nominated charity, and I've been working with them for 6 or 7 weeks. And the idea was that where you've been selling it is that there were 10 or 12 of the Grenfell children who were meant to be here. And even up until 5 o'clock today, I had emails saying that yes, they're all excited and they're all on the way and this and that. Unfortunately, I don't think there's even one here. So I kind of feel a little bit gutted. So if my play is a bit muted and it's not as good as you think it is, I'm just telling you the reason why. They haven't sold a ticket and they haven't got one kid here, and I feel that I've misled people. But anyway, that's not, that's why I'm saying there's meant to be 40 of them here, and it just hasn't happened. There's nothing untoward. I don't know why it is, but that's how it is. So we're just going to enjoy the music. There won't be an appeal, okay? We're just going to enjoy the music, and that's that. So I'm going to start now with some Latin stuff. All right, and a favorite of mine, this is Black Magic Woman by Santana. Louder on the music, please. Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman, turning me so blind I can't see. Black magic woman, she's trying to make a devil out of me. Turn your back on me, baby. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Don't turn your back on me, baby. You might get up to your old trick. But turn your back on me, baby. You might just keep up my magic stick. I'm so blind to you, baby. So blind to you, baby. Don't Don't put a spell on me, baby. Don't turn my heart into stone. Don't put a spell on me, baby, black magic woman. You gotta leave me alone. Thank you, Black Magic Woman. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going into this now. How are the sound levels? It's easier with a band. With backing tracks, it's quite difficult. Is the sound levels okay? All right, then. Okay, we're going to do one more Latin, and then we're going to do a little bit of blues. Okay, so let's go. There's no video to this one. This is called Latin Bluegrass. It's a mixture of Latin and blues. Thank you, Latin bluegrass. Well, I'm not Santana, unfortunately, but maybe when I'm 75 or something, I could be better. Well, do all you like Santana? Everybody? Okay, now we're going back to, this is the blues song. Some of my regulars, Mark Lyons, Kostakis, Alex. Where is Alex? You're up where? Okay, yeah. Know this song, and I play it a lot because I like it. So, next song, this is called Right Next Door. It's a Robert Cray song. Who's not heard of Robert Cray? All right, well, he's a great blues man. A bit louder. I could hear the couple fighting right next door. Angry words come clear through this thin walls. At midnight I heard him shout, "Unfaithful woman." I knew that then the axe's gonna fall. It's because of me. It's because of me. I heard him shout, "Who is he?" She mumbled low. He said, "Baby, don't you lie to me no more." With that he kept us his bags. He showed her the door. I was there. I was right next door. It's because of me. Because of me. Because of me. It's because of me. She was right next door, and I'm such a strong persuader. She was just another notch on my guitar. She gonna lose the man that really loves her. Through the silence, I can hear their breaking heart. Whoa, whoa. At daybreak I heard him pack. He said goodbye. I could go to her. What would I say? She would run to me. She's gonna cry. I could go to her, but there's nothing to say. Because of me. Because of me. Because of me. I'm young blood, right next door, and I'm such a strong persuader. She was right next door. She was just another notch on my guitar. She gonna lose the man that really loves her. Through the silence I could hear their breaking heart. Next door, and I'm such a strong persuader. She was right next door, another notch on my guitar. She's gonna lose the man that really loves her. Through the silence I could hear their breaking heart. next door, Robert Gray. Okay, this next song, it's the last of me in this set, and then there's an interval. It's a song by a guy called Frank Marino. It's a blues song, and it's only recently come out. And does anybody know who Frank Marino is? What band? You can have the free auction prize, yeah? No, it's a band called Mahogany Rush. And he's an LA-based guitarist, and he's produced the most incredible sound with Stevie Wonder, Santana, all the greats and their backing crews have come together to do this song. So I'm going to do it on my lonesome tonight. There's a video coming on, and it was all meant to be Grenfellly. Well, you can see it now anyway. All right, so this song is called Pray. Okay, let's go. There's some images of the tragedy. This is where you're meant to get emotional. Oh Lord, Lord, I pray. I pray every day. Lord, I pray. I pray each and every day. Though my soul is black and blue, my heart is torn in two. Lord, I pray. Dear Lord, won't you hear my prayer? On this dark and stormy night, dear Lord, won't you hear my prayer? On this dark and stormy night, though my faith is always true, it's so hard to keep holding on. Lord, I pray. There's a mountain I've got to climb to get my peace of mind. Through the wind and the rain, through all the grief and the pain, Lord, you show me what to do, and my faith holds true. What you have to say is, get down on your knees and pray. Walking on, though my feet were weary and worn. Dear Lord, I keep walking on, I keep walking through the storm. Yes, my soul is black and blue, but my faith is always true. So Lord, I pray. Dear Lord, I pray. Thank you very much. Pray. Okay, so we're going to have a short, actually no, we're going to just conclude this part with Keith, do you want to come back on and introduce our honoured guest of tonight, very close friend of mine, and that's Archbishop Kostakis Evangelou.
Round of applause for Mr. John Collins. Well done, John. I think you did a great job there. It's time to introduce the guest of honour. I know he's going to talk a little bit about the charity and a little bit about the work he does, and of course, a little bit more about the terrible tragedy of almost a year ago. It's interesting because I'm a collector of quotes, and there is a quote that goes something like, "You only get experience just after you've needed it." And it's interesting, isn't it? Because now that this Grenfell Tower tragedy happened, in the same way as the King's Cross fire, in the same way as the Hillsborough tragedy, so many lessons are learned and experience has been gained from these unfortunate tragedies where people have learned how to deal with them and to actually improve the way things are done for the future. And that's one of the most poignant things that come out of a lot of these unfortunate disasters, in that only after the bad time has happened, after the experience, has any action been taken to improve the situation, where a lot of people already knew what was going on. Now, I want to introduce our guest of honor. He is the revered Archbishop Kostakis Evangelou. I understand he is one of the chief people for the Apostolic Christian Church, and he does a hell of a lot of great work for the youth, for young people who need help in order to grow, to improve their lives from impoverished backgrounds and difficult neighborhoods. And actually, he's also a professional licensed boxing trainer and uses boxing as a way to guide the youth, to allow them to channel their energy and their frustrations from underprivileged areas. And it's actually interesting, he's never actually done anything for me, but that's not because I'm not young, it's because I'm Jewish. But anyway, that's beside the point. I want to hear from the revered Archbishop Kostakis Evangelou, who's going to give you a few words. Can you give him a round of applause, please? I must say, it's the first time I've met an Archbishop who takes such good care of his hairstyle, I must say. But anyway.
Thank you so much. God bless you. It's good to be here, but not under the circumstances. Thank you, John. I must say it's an excellent initiative to bring awareness of what's happening in this country, but because there's suffering all over the world, and it's good to always connect with the things that are important in life. And people are important, not material things. People are important. And so what do you do in life when you're sideswiped and the rug is pulled from under your feet? How do you deal with the contradictions of life? You just need to learn the lessons from them. There's some events in life that we would rather not have had, an experience we would rather not have had. And as Keith was rightly saying, we're wiser after the event, and sometimes we learn too late. But it's good to be here today. But I wanted you to do something just to connect, because the problem with this nation, and predominantly the Western world, is people, we're supposed to be our neighbors' keepers, and we're supposed to connect with each other. But the thing is, we're isolated. We don't know the person on our right and on our left, who they are. And I'd just like to do a little exercise before we just share a few thoughts, reflection on what actually happened a year ago and how we deal with this contradiction. Because it's interesting that we boast that we have put a man on the moon, but we can't get someone out of burning tower. That's tragic. It's sad when we can program a missile to hit accurately 0.0 something a target, but we can't get someone out of burning tower. There's a problem there, and we need to answer these questions, humanity, and we need to acknowledge what's gone wrong. Why did that happen? And more importantly, what can we learn from this to prevent it from ever happening again, not just in this nation, but different parts of the world. So just do a little exercise now. You're sitting next to someone. Perhaps you know that person, you've come with that person, you may not have come with that person. Turn around, just have a human connection with the person next to you. Turn to your person on your right, your left, behind, in front, and just connect with that person and say, how are you doing? See, we get on the trains, subways, and we don't know the people standing next to us. That's right, talk to the person, turn around, just acknowledge the people around you. And that's the beginning of connection. Lovely, that's what it's about. It's about being human. We get into a lift, and there's so many different angles you can look at that you don't connect with the person next to you. And if we are brother's keeper, we need to be responsible for each other. And when one person hurts, we should hurt. I believe that we need to teach our young people, as Keith was saying, and John knows the work, and Mark Lyons and the people we work together, knows that we work with young people, and we try to challenge their values. Because often we are conditioned to be materially driven and not value driven, or people driven. Material things are a byproduct of our relationship and what's important in life. But humanity, every person counts. I've traveled the world. I've been to Rwanda when the genocide was taking place, just after the genocide of reconciliation program with the Hutus and Tutsis. I've been to South Africa with the apartheid, talked to different parties there, and I've seen that. And one thing that I'm passionate about is to disqualify the false philosophy that one person is more important than someone else. That's what's important in my life and my Christian heritage, what I believe in. Because I believe Christ taught me to love my neighbor, irrespective whether he's Greek, whether he's Jewish, whether he's Arab, whether he's Muslim, whatever we are, we need to respect and love each other and add to people's lives. That's what's important. Let me just do another little exercise with you, if you don't mind, because I want to connect, because the thing is, I don't want to speak at you, I want us to speak together, share the experience. If you can just share with me, it's about perception. If you stand on your feet, I can't see because the light's on my face. If you stand on please, just join in. Stand on your feet. And what I'd like you to do is put your hands in front of you, turn your thumbs down to the floor, okay? And I'm going to put this in. I want you to do exactly what I do, okay? Are you watching? Keep watching. Right, you put your thumbs down, right? What I want you to do is this. I want you to put one hand over the other. I can watch this carefully, right? And I want you to count to 3. 1, with me, 1, 2, 3. Okay, see, it's about... Please take your seats. It's about perception. I've looked for the newsreels, what happened a year ago with this tragic event. And I put a few notes on what the outcomes of tragedy are about. Just 2 more moments and I'll be finished just shortly. I just made a few notes of this very quickly. So maybe perhaps you know Grenfell was built in 1974. It had 24 floors in a high-raised building. Should have been 120 apartments, 1 or 2 bedroom. And on the night the tragic event took place, there was, we believe, about 600 people in the building. And it was about approximately 1 a.m. in the morning when the flame started. There's estimating 72 people or so forth. The number, no one knows the exact number, but even one life is too many. I know we're saying there's many more, but even one life lost is too many in those circumstances, which could be prevented. So we need to, the questions are going through the inquiry. I pray they find some solutions and way forward. They can't bring back the people, but we can let their legacy challenge us to do better, because those people are martyrs in the light of incompetence and failure on society's behalf. We should be caring for each other. But I just want to make a few notes. If you just bear with me, I'm just going to head in and I just want to explain what these mean. When a tragic event takes place, we experience connection. We empathize. It can be direct connection or indirect connection. The amazing thing that happened as soon as after the aftermath of the Grenfell, the whole community, not just in West London, but the whole of the nation came together to try and find the support to encourage the survivors. That's the amazing thing, that when a tragic event happens, we begin to connect. Second thing is awakening. We wake up to the things we take for granted. I can't give you a receipt to say that after tonight, when you walk out of here, what can happen? I can't give you an Argos receipt and say, you leave here and I can guarantee you're going to be here next week. No one can make those guarantees. No one knows what the next one brings. We're awakened to the reality that we're limited, we're mortal, we're fallible. And we wake up, an awakening takes place. The next thing that happens, we start to prioritize. We start realizing what is important. The thing that you felt was important, the color of your wallpaper, the shoes you're going to wear, you start to begin to prioritize. The way you look, you start to begin to prioritize, to see what is actually important to us. These things come out, are birthed either consciously or subconsciously. We ask these questions. It's like a funeral. When you go to a funeral, the funeral is not for the dead person, it's for us who are alive, to remind us that that's a doorway we need to pass through. So it gives us a reality check of the awakening where we find ourselves in our lives. And we examine ourselves, and it gives self-examination and group examination. The next thing that happens is service. How can we assist? How can we contribute, either directly or indirectly? Because John was saying there was going to be an appeal. Now, we may not physically be able to be there to help with the aftermath, to do the clearing up, to comfort the families or support in a physical way, but perhaps financially we can assist in one level or another to help along the journey of life, to come to terms, as if people can, in the light of the tragedy that they have experienced. And we're part of that. And the final thing that happens when we look in the face of a tragedy, personally, it might even be selfishly, is gratitude. Because we become grateful that we're still here. But for the grace of God, I'm here, thank God. I heard there's a story, I'm going to finish on these last thoughts. There's a story, a teacher, actually a rabbi was teaching his disciples, his students, about the values of life. And he asked a profound question to the students. It was a metaphorical question and a spiritual question. He said, when do you know that dawn has come? And they thought about it, they reflected, and one of the students responded, said, dawn comes when you look across the field and you see 2 trees and you can differentiate that one is a pear tree and one is an apple tree. The teacher said, no. And the other one said, teacher, I said, dawn comes when you look across the field and you see 2 animals and you can differentiate that one is a goat and one is a sheep. He said, no. Dawn comes when you look across the field and you see a man and a woman and you know that's your brother and your sister. That's when dawn comes. God bless you. Let's just stand. I just want to bow our heads for about a minute of reflection. In your own way, you may pray, you might have a faith in God, you may not. Just stand in stillness, quietness, just in tribute and memory for the people who have lost their lives, for not for no reason for themselves. It wasn't, they didn't do it. It was something out of their control. So let's stand together. If you just bow our heads. It doesn't matter if you don't have a faith, don't worry. Just bow your heads just for a moment. As John was singing, pray in your own way. If you want to speak to however you feel you want to communicate, just quietly. I don't have to even say any words. Just for a minute. Thank you. Peace and love to you. God bless. Keith.
Anyway, listen, guys, we're going to have a set now from all the musicians here. So I want you to introduce the London Electric Blues Band. We have on keys, or keyboards, as some would say. I'm going to just make sure that I've got his name right. It's Mr. Sean Hargreaves. A big round of applause for Mr. Sean Hargreaves, a man who has no other. You've been on stage with Michael Bublé, that fantastic Frank Sinatra impersonator, and Alison Moyet, if I'm not mistaken. We have on drums, we have Mr. Winston Clifford. Winston, give us a big nod as you did. And we've also got on bass, we have one of the most in-demand bass players in the country. We have Mr. Neville Malcolm, or Level Neville as they call him. And of course we have Mr. John Collins. Big round of applause for John. And we're going to hear them all play together.
Yeah. We're all from East London, by the way, all of us. Hoxton, N1, apart from you. Right. This is Deep Louisiana Blues. We're going to have to hurry up because we've got getting kicked out soon. I sing the Louisiana blues. I sing the Mississippi Delta blues. I sing the Louisiana blues. I sing the Mississippi Delta blues. Yeah, my daddy said I gotta sing the blues. He said you got nothing to lose. You might recognize these words. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man way back in New Orleans. And the only thing a gambling man needs There's a suitcase or a trunk. And the only time that he is satisfied is when he's won, is when he's won or drunk. Yes, the only time is when he's won or drunk. Sean Hargreaves on the keys. Thank you. Thank you. We enjoyed that one. Okay, should we try phone booth? Yeah. Right. Okay, it's another Robert Cray song. It's about being skint in Chicago, basically, in the 80s. I relish the thought not. So, let's go. It's a fast one. It's hard. It's a really hard one. I'm in a phone booth, baby. Your number scratched upon the wall. I'm in a phone booth, baby. Your number scratched upon the wall. I'm new in Chicago, God. I've got nowhere else to call. Been walking all day. No friends I can find. Heart so cold, I've got to have me some wine. Caught in you, baby, with the cold wind right outside. Here's a hardback. I'm in a phone booth, baby. Your number scratched upon the wall. I'm in a phone booth, baby. Your number scratched upon the wall. I'm new in Chicago. I've got nowhere else to call. been walking, it says call Big Reader, any time of the day or night. You know I'm broke and I'm cold, baby, and I hope you treat me right. Calling you, baby, with my very last dime, the cold wind blowing outside. Okay, finish out. Okay, we got 3 minutes apparently. We had a whole set, so we're gonna have to cut it short. Sorry about that. Okay, this is a song by Hubert Sumlin, who was one of the greats. I like it a lot, we all do. And unfortunately he died. And his funeral expenses were paid for, he's black American, they were paid for by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. No one really knew about that. Okay, so big up to them and also to Hubert. So I wanna say one thing. This song is aimed at, when you're thinking of criticizing your man, yeah, think twice, because some things cannot get left, they can't be unsaid, okay? This is kind of aimed at the women a little bit. Do apologize. Let's go. Baby, sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong, I'm right, baby. But you do always what you want to do. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong, but sometimes I'm right, baby, baby. You do what you want to do. You'll always be my little sugar. Yeah, my little sugar. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong, I'm right, baby. I know I gotta leave your long thing to do what you do. I love you, love you, love you, love you, baby. 'Cause you're always gonna be my little sugar. But baby, you gotta know, sometimes I'm wrong, but not all of the time. Sometimes I'm right. Sean Hargreaves, ladies and gentlemen. One more verse. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm right, baby. But you know what you have to do. Just don't blame your man. Don't blame your man for everything. Sometimes I'm right, baby. And sometimes I'm wrong. I know I've got to leave a young thing alone. Last round now. You're my little sugar. I'll always love you, baby. But sometimes I'm right. Thank you. Sometimes I'm right. We've got time for one more. For one more. What we got left? Not the Grenfell one. One more. What we got left? Yeah, let's do Grenfell. Okay, this is the song. One more. It's 3 minutes, then we're done. All right. Thank you. Just picking up on what Kostas was saying. One of my very close friends is called Savash Mehmet, Sid, and his daughter, who he hasn't seen for many years, had the strength to make things good. The strength. So, consequently, Sid's brother and Katerina, they haven't met before. Meet your uncle, Andy. He's up there somewhere. All right? All right. Okay, let's go. What's not working? You turn it off. We just got one more to do. Fuck's sake. All right, we'll do it without. Grandma's hands clapped in church on Sunday morning. Grandma's hands played a tambourine so well. Grandma's hands used to issue out a warning. She'd say, Billy, don't you run so fast. Might fall on a piece of glass. Might be snakes there in that grass. Grandma's hand. Grandma's hands soothe the local, that's it, on wedding mothers. Grandma's hands play the tambourine so well. Grandma's hands used to lift her face and tell her, she'd say, baby, Grandma understands that she really loved that man. Put yourself in Jesus' hands. Grandma's hand. Grandma's hands used to hand me a piece of candy. Grandma's hands used to ache sometime and swell. Grandma's hand, boy, they really came in handy, 'cause she'd say, Matty, don't you whip that boy. What you want to spank him for? He didn't drop no apple core, but I don't have Grandma anymore. If I get to heaven, I look for Grandma's hand. Grandma's hands used to hand me a piece of candy. Grandma's hands used to ache sometime and swell. Grandma's hands used to lift her face and tell me, she'd say, Matty, don't you whip that boy. What you want to spank him for? He didn't drop no apple core, but I don't have Grandma anymore. If I get to heaven, I'll look for Grandma's hand. Grandma's hand. Grandma's hands. Yes, Grandma's hands. I look for Grandma's hand. Just before I go, that's so nice of you. I want to thank these guys. Okay, we've only played together twice, and hopefully it'll be again, but these are top drawer musicians. On the keys, BBC, Channel 5, you name it, they've done it. Sean Hargreaves on the keys, ladies and gentlemen. And on bass, the great Neville Malcolm, ladies and gentlemen. And on drums, the one and only Winston Clifford. Thank you all for coming. I know practically every one of you. I'm so pleased you came, and I'll let you know when the next gig is. Have a safe journey home, everybody.